Good afternoon. Sometimes it may be difficult to visualize the breathtaking amount of power we have as individuals, the power to intervene in the lives of others for the sake of good. Sometimes the problems around us seem too big for us to solve, and their enormity makes us feel helpless. I'm here to tell you that's not true. That each and every one of us has the power to be a hero, to save lives by choosing to act instead of remaining silent and on the sidelines. A 65-year-old woman is walking down the street in New York City on a Sunday morning. The sun is shining brightly, though the temperature is still cool. She's wearing a jacket as she passed by nearby Times Square on her way to church. Cars sped by, people could be seen through the glass doors and windows of the buildings that line the street, and other pedestrians occupied the sidewalk alongside her. Imagine we're standing inside of one of those buildings, and we're looking through the lobby into the street as this scene unfolds. There are several people around us going about their business, not expecting that something extraordinary is about to happen. The woman enters from our right, and we watch her slowly make her way past our building. Because our doors are propped open, the sounds of the street spill into the lobby. And suddenly, a man bursts into our view, and he shouts at her, "You don't belong here!" And he rushes up to her, kicks her to the ground, and she screams. For a moment, we're shocked. We stare, mouths wide open, disbelieving what we just saw and heard. The man quickly takes 2 paces forward, and we can tell he intends to kick her again while she writhes on the ground. But someone in the lobby drops what they're doing. They rush through the doors, jump over the woman, and tackle the man to the ground. A car passing by slams on its brakes, its tires screeching to a halt in the middle of traffic. They leap out of the car to assist. And a third person, walking, who saw the man and woman from a distance, rushes up, kneels down to check on the woman. Bystanders restrain the man and comfort the woman until the police and paramedics arrive. An attack that could have resulted in severe injury or even death was prevented by the willingness of individuals to get involved, to intervene, and forbid an evil outcome. Some of you may be familiar with the Stanford prison experiment, in which participants played the parts of guards and prisoners, an experiment that was slated to last for 2 weeks, but ended abruptly after only 6 days, because the guards began to abuse and humiliate the prisoners to an unconscionable degree. This experiment reflected on a micro level events which take place on an international scale, and led to the concept of the banality of evil. That under certain conditions and social pressures, ordinary people commit acts that would otherwise be unthinkable. What this experiment proved was that prevailing social conditions have an outsized effect on determining our behavior. The same force which pushes us towards evil also pushes us towards silence in the face of evil. The wrong of taking no action when action is called for. That pressure deters us from acting as individuals, from breaking social norms, and into vicarious participation through large organizations capable of shielding us from the fear we experience at confronting evil alone. In violent situations like the Stanford prison experiment, this tension is magnified. No one sticks their neck out for anyone. Why is that? Because it's dangerous. Standing up for someone puts you at risk, but the exact same situation exists in our daily lives. Cultural norms make it intimidating to intervene or challenge the status quo. Oftentimes, compliance and inaction is so much easier. But that doesn't always quiet the discomfort we feel internally when we're exposed to big problems. Problems that exist on a national or global scale. We want to do something, so we turn to large organizations. You see, Our focus on national or international problems is a way for us to still do something about what's happening around us. But in our immediate environment, the exact place where we have the power to intervene, we take the least amount of action. Organizational participation becomes a substitute for individual action. In the case of the former, we're not alone. We can even do it from the comfort of our couch, but intervention demands courage. Because problems at a national or a global scale can be so big, our immediate inclination is to donate money, to sign a petition, to join a march. All things that solve the problem indirectly, or at least hope to. But these choices, they cause us to be part of the silent majority that allows evil to continue in our own lives. If one's environment or culture can push people to commit acts of evil, why can't we create a culture which pushes people to acts of heroism? Instead of a banality of evil in which social norms promote silent acquiescence to things we should never put up with, the banality of heroism removes the idea of the hero elect. That heroism is reserved for a chosen few. The decision to act heroically necessarily puts us at risk, but it has an immediate effect on the lives of those around us. When we intervene, we can save lives. We can put an end to evil and suffering. And there doesn't need to be anything extraordinary about what we do. It begins by no longer assuming that someone else is going to solve the problem. We can't think, if I donate money, that'll be enough, the problem will be solved. That's not true. One of the most effective ways of solving problems is breaking it down into its constituent parts, parts that we can confront on our own. We are all potential heroes, waiting for a moment in life to perform a heroic deed. It isn't that you'll eradicate hunger, it's that you'll make sure your neighbor next door isn't hungry and that everyone else does the same. I open with the story of someone in immediate danger and how bystanders, despite fearing for their own safety and social pressure that tells them never to be concerned with what's going on with other people, did not hesitate to intervene. Well, that'd be nice if that's actually what happened, but it's not. Most of the details are accurate. This took place on a Sunday morning. The woman was walking to church. There were people all around when she was assaulted. At least 3 people in the lobby watched the man repeatedly kick her. And instead of doing something, they approached the lobby door and closed it, leaving her on the ground defenseless. Not 1 or 2, but 3 cars passed by as she was kicked, lying on the sidewalk. And there's no telling, at least from the angle of the camera which captured this scene, how many people were on the sidewalk but kept to themselves. The only thing that seems to have saved her from being killed is the loss of interest on the part of the attacker, as he is seen from the camera footage casually crossing the street and walking away. Every day, there are opportunities for us to have courage and be commonplace heroes. To change the world, begin looking at what you can do in your own lives and the lives you touch every day. Let's make the heroic commonplace so that acts of heroism aren't so hard. And instead of moving mountains, this becomes a habit. I'd like to thank Zeno Franco and Philip Zimbardo, whose work I drew on heavily for this talk, including for the concept of the banality of heroism. And thank all of you for looking deep inside for the hero that you can become. Thank you.